we are heading into the first full week of trading in 2026. So you already know there's going to be some juicy premium to start collecting because these past few weeks have been a little bit boring. In today's video, I'm going to showing you guys my 5-wheel strategy setups that I'm going to be paying attention to and how I'm planning to play them. And don't forget, drop a comment down below, guys. I'm going to give you my full Ark Options Strategy playbook. This is going to help you take your wheel strategy to the next level by plugging those leaky buckets that is the wheel strategies. Just drop a comment, and if you don't mind, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us reach more people. So let's get right into it, guys. Obviously, this is the first week, right, of 2026, and what we are expecting is a bit of a slow start to the week, is at least what I'm going to be expecting. Let me try to move this thing out of the way as you see me battling to move this loom thing out of here. So we're at a 14.5 on the VIX. Volatility is still fairly low, but we are going to be getting a lot of data this week, which we hope is going to create some volatility in the markets. But let's get over the shoulder because I did do some trades last week. If you're inside OSS, you heard me mention some of those. But let's knock out the big one out of the way because I trade this one every single week, guys. You already know I'm a very big investor in SoFi. And I primarily run covered calls and cash secured puts on a weekly basis. Literally the same exact expiration, same exact DTE for the most part, same delta for both the covered call side as well as the cash secured put side, and that is called a covered strangle. And I've been running that on SoFi for probably like 3 or 4 months at this point. I'm really enjoying it. Really just threading the needle between the Bollinger Bands is kind of what my usual aim is, especially since we're trading really flat. Well, hopefully not too flat anymore because we had a nice almost 5% jump here on SoFi, which was insane, guys. So hear me out. So I opened up like a 25.5 put or 25 put on Friday, right? And then SoFi just randomly shot up at like 11 a.m. Eastern time, and this was probably the fastest in and out trade of a wheel strategy that ever happened to me. Is I literally got out of that trade, locked in my 50% rule, right? Actually, it was probably like 55%, right? Captured 55% of my premium in the span of an hour. I almost felt like a day trader. You guys already know I'm against day trading. I am not a day trader. I don't want to be a day trader, but that was really cool to be able to get in and out of that. And I just recycled that collateral and I pushed it out to this Friday. So I have some covered calls and cash secured puts that I've got going out to this Friday. So obviously going to be paying attention to that one quite a bit. Next one, guys, obviously a little bit more expensive stock, but one of my higher conviction plays. And I ended up I did have 185 puts on this a few months back, and I didn't end up having to get assigned. We saw a nice little retraction here towards that 200 level, and then I was able to get out of my puts. And I really thought we were going to start getting back to towards our all-time highs. I really did. But we really just started retraction right at 198 on Palo Alto Networks, and we started to retract below it and have kind of been staying there. And now we are right at the 200 or at the bottom Bollinger Band. So I'm going to be starting to look into this. I am very big on Palo Alto. I love the whole IT networking sector. If you guys don't know, I used to work at a high frequency trading firm as a network services guy. Has always been my specialty, and I've deployed so many of their products, so many of Arista products. That's why I'm so bullish on both of these companies, because I still know to this day these companies are so widely deployed that the markets, the internet, all of those things, right? You watching this video right now, do you understand how many product you're going through a Palo Alto firewall right now? Okay. But I digress. Obviously, go do your own research. Don't listen to me on your stock picks. These are just ideas that I'm going. I'm definitely no financial advisor. But with that said, heavily oversold on the RSI 32. Okay, we are oversold. Obviously, that's at the bottom Bollinger Band. What am I looking for? I'm looking at 175s. I'm looking at 170s if I can get away with it. Let's go take a look at the options chain. We're off of market hours, but let's go take a look. Usually with these guys, I'm going 30, 45 days out. I'm not a full-time trader. I have other things I want to be doing with my life. So I am usually doing 30, 45 besides on SoFi because I just love it. And there's not many opportunities, I believe, that come along like SoFi for me personally because I'm so bullish on it. So what am I looking at? I'm going to be looking most likely at the 175s. I think that's some good delta, a little bit more aggressive, 36 delta. Let's see what our bid-ask spread here is. 345 to 40. So we're going to have to see what that actually looks like. Let's just assume we're collecting about $400 of premium on that bad boy and see what our actual ROI on our collateral is going to be. So we're collecting 400. We're locking up $17,500 right here for a 2.3, almost a 2.3% return. Obviously, not financial advice, results vary. That's just the idea here that we're able to collect. So that's a juiced up premium. Especially for a company like Palo. And to me, it's a good balance because you're getting a 36 delta, so you're expecting an outsized return on your collateral. And if you don't know what this is called a cash secured put. I'm essentially saying I'm willing to buy 100 shares of Palo Alto Networks for $175 on February 6th. If on February 6th it's trading above 175, obviously I'm not buying it because it's not at 175. If it's trading at 174, 170, I'm on the hook to buy 100 shares at 175. And then also, if you're like brand new, go attend the Ark Options workshop down below. There's 90 minutes. I break this down very, very simply. And at the end of that training, I give you my covered call calculators, cash secured put calculators, as well as my full trade lock template that you can walk away with completely for free, no strings attached. So that's a big one I'm eyeing this week. For definitely more of a bigger, locks up a lot more collateral play. Let's keep looking. Let me show you. I have a good amount that I'm watching this week. I brought this one up last week. I'm still watching Altria, and I'm going to continue to look into selling puts on this thing. You already know the Ark way, right? We love selling options on dividend-paying stocks because we get assigned and we're collecting juiced up premium, right? And let's be real, right? The premiums are juicy on Altria here, right at that bottom Bollinger Band here, below the 200 and 300 day moving averages. You know what? Pretty flat here, really, since the dump off in at the end of October. And I'm just gonna ride this one, right? It looks like we have a lot of support here. I thought we were gonna have a lot more support at 58, but you know what? I think we're going to have a lot of support here at 57, but we're going to see. Can we cross below this bottom point at 56 where we saw at the end of October? I can't. Listen, it can happen. Nobody knows what the market's going to do, but I feel like that's a great support level here for Altria. For it to dip below that, you already know I'm going to be jumping in that. Let everybody else, pour back into, the tech sector. I mean, there's a lot of red on my watch list. I don't know about you guys. Lots of opportunities starting to go into 2026. So we're going to see. This is where, us as option sellers, we start deploying all that dry powder after that Santa rally that we had. Next one that I'm watching, boring, another boring dividend payer is General Mills, okay? Say what you want, right? Great 5.3%, a little over 5.3 dividend payer. Listen, these are my stocks, baby. This is what I like to do, right? You could do you go do your own research. But for me, obviously, I mix in some high volatility stuff, but then when I see opportunities to get into these kind of companies that are really boring dividend payers that own a whole ton of brands that literally every single one you watching has the General Mills brands in your cupboard and your kitchen, right? All over your house, right? Those are the companies I like. I really enjoy that. It adds stability to my portfolio, and I get a nice juicy covered call premium, and as well as a dividend payment, like a 5%, 5.3. Like I really, really like that, and especially with a setup like this being so below the 200 and 300 day moving averages. Man, I don't know. Like, to me, I'd rather jump into something like this than really like a Palantir, which actually I'm going to talk about right next because it is starting to pull back pretty drastically. But I am watching Palantir or General Mills heavily because I love those dividend-paying stocks. But Palantir getting a bit beat up here. So we're gonna see what happens. Listen, I am definitely tardy to the party with Palantir. I am definitely am bullish on it. I do agree with their business model. I love what they're doing. But this is expensive, man. To me, I go back to my Warren Buffett ways, right? Right, and like Peter Lynch days, right? No, not days. I still those are two people that I want to invest like. But with that said, right, they're just such an expensive company. But the outlook is fairly strong. There is a lot of hype about this. When you could tell when something's really hyped up whenever all of your favorite YouTubers are talking about it. And to me, that's a sign of like, hey, kind of stay away. But if we continue to drop, like I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I don't see it coming back towards this, 200 or 300 day moving average of 125. If it did, I would jump into it. But for me right now, like with a Palantir, like I'm gonna watch it because I see it dropped over 5.5%. I would love to jump into it and see how we test that like bottom Bollinger Band area. But I am tardy to the party here with you guys. That's for sure. I know a lot of people made a decent amount of premiums and appreciation sales off Palantir. Early investors, congrats to you guys. But you know what? I do believe there's always opportunities in the markets, depending on what kind of investor you are and what kind of companies that you want to invest in. So let's go back to my boring stuff. So Colgate, going from Palantir to Colgate, from juicy and juiced up returns to some boring dividend payers that are getting beat up up right now. And that's where I'm looking, guys. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's the kind of investor I am. I've lost so much money getting into the hype stuff. And, I feel like for me, I'd rather be in these boring dividend payers, even though they've been getting beat up tremendously in the last 6 months. I do think their time will come. I genuinely do believe that. Trading, well below the 2 and 300 day, $10 off the 2 and 300 day moving averages. Great dividend payer. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be looking at the I'm going to have to, thing is, guys, with these boring dividend payers, you're not going to be able to do like a Palantir where you're going to go to a 30 delta or a 20 delta and still get like 34% return on your collateral. Like, welcome to reality. Like, those are very high risk return on collaterals. When you're looking like a Colgate, you're playing close to the money. You're playing 76s, you're playing 75s, and barely hitting 2% return on your collateral. That's the kind of the trade-off that you're getting, right? You have something that's a little bit more stable. The companies that have made it through recessions, like these are companies that I believe in long-term, 10, 20, 30 years from now. I think these companies are still going to be around, especially since the valuations are so high on some of these companies right now. I totally expect a pullback. Who knows when, but like a lot of these companies are way too rich for my blood. So I'm going in where I can actually see a little bit more opportunity. And then another one that has been on my watches for so long, but I'm a little hesitant to jump into this one again. This was on my weekly Wheel Picks newsletter here this past week, but I am nervous about DocuSign, right? I got into DocuSign because I know Warren Buffett took a big position in this on many years ago, and that kind of made me jump into. I do like to follow Warren Buffett, I as an investor, and I did some puts on it, so calls on it, right? I don't own any shares of it anymore right now, and did decent, I guess. Got in and out, did the usual wheel strategy way on it. But I do worry about AI technology with this. So I am watching this one closely. It would have to really drop further for me to really get back into this. Let's go take a look at just over year to date. Where are we at with this? If my chart likes to load. So yeah, we're at all lows for the past year. So we'll see what happens with this. But I do like the setup. The setup's nice. I mean, bottom Bollinger Band is fairly not super oversold. It's only 37, but at the bottom Bollinger Band and still below the 2 and 300 day moving averages. It's a pretty good setup, at least in my opinion, guys. If you want my full trade log templates, plus my 2 premium calculators, click that first link in the description of today's video. You're going to get a 90-minute training on the wheel strategy, specifically the Ark Options Strategy, how we combine 5 premium sources into one strategy, not just cash secured puts and not just covered calls. So if you want all that goodness, click the first link in the description of today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.